Just 4 days before the 2004 U.S. presidential election, a new tape shocked the world. It reportedly showed Osama bin Laden speaking publicly for the first time since the 9/11 attacks.
The U.S. government has committed acts that are extremely unjust, hideous, and criminal.
The United States was tense, still recovering from the tragedy, and worried about future threats. At CIA headquarters, the team hunting bin Laden felt frustrated. Most leads had gone cold. Years earlier, they believed they had him trapped in the mountains of Tora Bora, but he escaped. Since then, the search has become slow and difficult, raising more questions than answers. But how did he stay hidden for so long? Who helped him move in the shadows? And how did the U.S. finally track him down? You're watching the Narco Files. If you enjoy deep stories like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Early dead ends, Tora Bora and the lost chance. After the U.S. invaded Afghanistan in 2001, many al-Qaeda fighters escaped into the eastern mountains. Their last stronghold was Tora Bora, a deep and complicated cave system near the Pakistan border. The CIA and U.S. forces believed Osama bin Laden was hiding there, but the rugged terrain made it extremely difficult to navigate, and reliable intelligence was hard to gather. The U.S. used airstrikes and relied on local Afghan tribal fighters to push al-Qaeda out. Bombs hit the caves and ground forces moved in. But when the area was finally cleared, bin Laden had already slipped away. Only a small number of fighters were captured. For U.S. intelligence, it was a painful and frustrating moment. They had been so close, yet their main target escaped, making the hunt for bin Laden even more difficult and uncertain. A key capture, Mohammed al-Qahtani. In the months after 9/11, investigators uncovered a crucial lead in Mohammed al-Qahtani. At first, he claimed he had traveled to Afghanistan for falconry, a common hobby in the Middle East. But his story quickly fell apart under closer scrutiny. Weeks before the attacks, Qahtani had tried to enter the U.S. with a one-way ticket and nearly $3,000 in cash. U.S. customs officers denied him entry. After the attacks, his fingerprints were checked against intelligence files and matched. Further investigation linked him to Mohammed Atta, the lead hijacker, with security footage showing Atta's rented car at the airport at the same time Qahtani was there. This suggested Qahtani might have been intended as the missing 20th hijacker. During questioning, he revealed he had been trained by Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, a courier for Osama bin Laden. For intelligence agencies, this was a major breakthrough, a name that could finally lead them closer to bin Laden himself. Capturing more al-Qaeda players, Abu Zubaydah and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. In 2002, the U.S. captured Abu Zubaydah, a key logistics figure in al-Qaeda. During questioning, he revealed that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or KSM, was the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. KSM had planned the operation, trained the hijackers, and worked closely with Osama bin Laden. Not long after, KSM himself was captured, and further interrogations allowed the CIA to map al-Qaeda's network, identifying leaders, financial operators, and messengers. One name came up again and again: Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. He was not a fighter or frontline leader, but bin Laden's trusted courier, a crucial link that could lead directly to the terrorist leader. The courier called al-Kuwaiti. Who was he? In 2004, al-Qaeda member Hassan Ghul was captured and revealed a key secret. The man known as al-Kuwaiti was Osama bin Laden's personal messenger, one of the very few people who could contact him directly. The CIA later identified him as Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, a Pakistani man with family ties to Kuwait. For years, Ahmed remained hidden, but careful tracking of his phone calls, travel patterns, and daily movements gradually revealed a clear picture. Intelligence teams finally had reason to feel hope. If they could locate Ahmed, they could trace the path that would lead straight to Osama bin Laden. Tracking him down, the breakthrough call. By 2010, U.S. intelligence had confirmed the identity of Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed. Tracking him was still difficult. He often turned off his phone, only used it in specific locations, and seemed aware that he was being watched. Analysts carefully studied his movements, which hinted at a highly protected and unusual location. Ahmed traveled from Peshawar to Abbottabad and entered a strange compound with high walls, no normal phone or internet lines, and very limited access. Everything about the house suggested it was designed to hide someone important. This led U.S. intelligence to ask the critical question: could this be Osama bin Laden's hideout? Mistreatment, controversy, and intelligence methods. Some detainees were subjected to harsh interrogation methods, many of which are now considered torture. A 2014 Senate report later found that these techniques were mostly useless in helping locate Osama bin Laden. The real breakthroughs came from traditional intelligence work. Years of careful observation, tracking phone calls, and analyzing patterns. Human sources, combined with information from Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed's network, provided the key clues that eventually led to bin Laden's hideout. This case shows that patient, methodical work often succeeds where extreme or aggressive measures fail, proving the power of careful, strategic intelligence over forceful tactics. The final raid, Abbottabad, May 2011. On May 1, 2011, a small U.S. Navy SEAL team carried out a secret mission to raid the Abbottabad compound. They flew in stealth Black Hawk helicopters under the cover of night and did not inform Pakistani authorities to maintain complete secrecy. Once inside the compound, they found Osama bin Laden. After a brief but intense firefight, bin Laden was killed, along with his trusted courier, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, and Ahmed's brother. The mission was fast, precise, and the result of years of patient, careful intelligence work, showing how planning, skill, and courage came together to achieve one of the most significant operations in modern history. Why the courier was so important. The courier was the key to finding Osama bin Laden. Without him, it might have taken many more years to locate the terrorist leader. Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed was deeply trusted by bin Laden and his closest circle. His phone calls provided important clues, and he and his brother lived in the Abbottabad compound under false identities, helping bin Laden stay hidden. By carefully following Ahmed's movements, intelligence agencies finally found the critical link that led to bin Laden. This shows how sometimes a single person, quietly moving in the shadows, can make the difference between years of uncertainty and the success of a high-stakes mission. Lessons from the hunt. The hunt for Osama bin Laden was a story of careful planning, patience, and constant observation. Human intelligence, following people, studying relationships, and tracking couriers, proved far more valuable than relying only on technology or gadgets. Patience was essential. It took years of monitoring Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed before analysts could trace him to the Abbottabad compound. The mission also raised moral and ethical questions, especially about the use of harsh interrogation methods, which sparked debates about what is acceptable in intelligence work. The stakes were incredibly high. Navy SEALs risked their lives in a secret raid, and political tensions ran deep because Pakistan was not informed beforehand. Success came from careful strategy, persistence, and courage at every level, from analysts in offices to soldiers on the ground. This operation shows that major intelligence missions require a combination of brains, bravery, and patience, not just quick decisions or technology alone. The broader context. Al-Qaeda's network. The story of Osama bin Laden is also the story of Al-Qaeda. This was not just one man. It was a complex network with many layers, including leaders, operatives, and couriers. Capturing one member didn't destroy the organization, but each arrest or interrogation revealed important connections and helped map the network. The courier system, in particular, was key. These couriers allowed Al-Qaeda to communicate across countries while keeping leaders like bin Laden hidden. By carefully watching these small but crucial links, intelligence agencies were able to slowly trace the path that led directly to bin Laden's hideout. This operation showed that patience, careful observation, and understanding how human networks operate can be more powerful than relying solely on technology or gadgets. It was the combination of small details, methodical work, and strategic thinking that ultimately allowed the U.S. to find one of the most wanted men in history. Bin Laden's life in Abbottabad. Osama bin Laden lived for years in a heavily guarded compound designed to keep him completely hidden. The house had high walls, very few entrances, and was isolated from neighbors, making it difficult for anyone to get close. Surveillance over time revealed clear patterns. Very few outgoing phone calls, only occasional visitors, and carefully controlled daily routines. The compound itself was unusual for the area. Its size, location, and layout made it stand out to intelligence analysts. By closely tracking his trusted courier, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, and observing these patterns, U.S. intelligence teams were finally able to confirm that bin Laden was inside. This operation shows how patience, careful attention to small details, and methodical observation can uncover even the most hidden targets. It wasn't a single clue or sudden discovery that revealed him. It was years of careful work, connecting tiny pieces of information to find one of the world's most wanted men. The strategic value of patience and persistence. Finding Osama bin Laden was not something that happened overnight. It required years of careful planning and patience. Intelligence analysts had to combine many pieces of information to see the bigger picture. They studied captured operatives, tracked phone calls, monitored movements, and analyzed behavior patterns. Every small detail mattered. Even minor mistakes by bin Laden's network provided important clues. One of the most critical breakthroughs came from following his trusted courier, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, whose movements pointed directly to the Abbottabad compound. By patiently piecing together these fragmented bits of intelligence, U.S. agencies were finally able to act with confidence. This operation shows that success in intelligence is rarely about quick wins or sudden breakthroughs. Instead, it comes from long-term strategy, careful observation, and persistence. It reminds us that patient and methodical work can uncover even the most hidden and well-protected targets. Capturing bin Laden wasn't a sudden victory. It was the end of more than 10 years of careful, risky work. It wasn't one big clue, but a single courier, Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, who revealed bin Laden's hidden world. The Abbottabad raid showed the power of human intelligence, patience, and teamwork. It also highlighted ethical questions and real dangers. Still, the mission brought closure to one of the most intense global manhunts in modern history. But what do you think? Was the courier the real turning point? Or was it the years of surveillance and intelligence work that made the difference? You're watching the Narco Files. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more deep investigations.